It's all your fault. So I walk up in this bitch with these gray vans and these Ray-Bans. I've been working like I got in hands. And these
all right,
motherfuckers
welcome
taking
back,
this break.
QB2 fans. It is a lovely but hot day here on 5036 Feret Street. That's not it.
5039.
5039 Feret Street in New Orleans, Louisiana. Thanking Kyle again for having us back at another bar. What a great institution this is.
Yes.
On Feret Street.
Yes.
You know, always a lot going on Feret Street. You can go get a hot dog across the street at 11 a.m. and watch someone back into your car.
Get your car sideswiped.
Sideswipe the next car.
The beauty of Feret Street.
Just got to love New Orleans, you know. You go and get a hot dog with your kids. Your wife's pregnant. And then, what's that? You got a nice scratch 4 feet long on your BMW. Just lovely.
Hey, it's part of the city.
But so anyways, what you been up to this summer? It's been a while. I haven't seen you since draft.
Yeah. No, it's been a while. Not much, man. Just working, getting ready for Saints football. Other than that, not really much. What about yourself?
It's bikini season. I've been really working on myself. I've gained 10 pounds.
I hope no one has seen you in a bikini. I hope for everyone's sake for that.
Well, this city's a very accepting city, Fletch. So,
Yeah.
But no, so this is the best time of year if you're a football fan.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
This is your team's, it's got a win streak right now. No losses.
Every team is excited right now.
You got to be excited because if you don't, then are you truly a fan of
beginning
your
of training camp, first week?
There's
first
optimism.
Week of training camp. Yeah, there's optimism. You think, hey, Super Bowl.
We have a chance.
Correct.
And so I guess jumping into it, training camp started. The rookies reported last week. Vets, everybody else reported, I think, on Monday of last week.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
it started this week. The whole team.
And so we just wrapped up day 4 yesterday.
Yes, yeah. First week is in the books for training camp.
Team is off today. They'll be putting pads on tomorrow, so get to see what's going on. But one of the biggest changes, obviously, is they're not on airline this year.
Yeah, no, they're out in UC Irvine out in California. Apparently, due to the heat and them rebuilding the facilities, yeah. So they said they couldn't practice in there this year.
I saw the Saints cafeteria at the Shrine on airline was ranked one of the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is surprising.
But hey, they're fixing it though.
They're fixing it, so
I got to give them. Yeah.
Give credit where credit's due. The Superdome's getting its nice touches for the Super Bowl that they were going to host this year. But yeah, so the players, I think this is a good opportunity. Going out to California, you're not going to be in the 100% humidity weather, so it should be better conditions.
Yeah, and hopefully, it's more of a team building. They're out there, not at home. They're all staying together. So maybe they can build some continuity together.
Sure, and then I think that is needed for a team. Still got a lot of familiar faces. On the team, but we got some new faces here, obviously, every year. Got 100 guys out there right now. We're going to cut it down to 52, 53.
Right.
But one of the biggest pieces of new additions, new faces this year, I think it's Klint Kubiak, the new offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. And so just a little background on him. He's a younger guy, been in pretty much around the NFL his whole life. His father.
Yeah, his dad was a head coach.
His dad was a head coach. His dad was a quarterback. Kubiak. He's a 4-time Super Bowl winning coach. His father is. So he's been around.
He's been around the game.
He's been around the game his whole life. And he's coming from a coaching tree out in San Francisco.
Yeah, with Kyle Shanahan. So, you feel good about that because Shanahan's offense has always been top offense in the league. So you hope that he's taking some of whatever he's got from his dad and from Kyle Shanahan. And we'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to be. It's not going to be Pete Carmichael, Sean Payton offense this season. We won't be seeing that. Thank God. I think Saints fans are just happy not to know that that's not what we're going to see this year.
Thank you for your service, Pete, but don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Have fun in Denver, Pete.
Have fun in Denver, sucking on the teat of Sean Payton again. But no, Klint Kubiak. So with that offense, if you're looking at how San Francisco's offense has executed over the last 3, 4, 5 years or since Shanahan's been there, they've been a top offense. Now they do have playmakers on both sides of the ball. But
and that's going to be the question. Do we have the personnel to do what San Francisco does? We'll see. But I think it's just better that we're gonna see a different type of offense, and I think Saints fans should just be happy about that just in itself.
Definitely. And so, one of the biggest things that Klint Kubiak has said for his expectations for this offense is going to be a run-first offense, which usually if you can run the ball, you can control the clock, you help your defense out, set up the passing game, set up play action
with Carr.
So we talked about this when we got Carr last year.
Correct.
That
he's a great play action quarterback, top 10 off of play action.
Yes.
And a lot of this scheme that Kubiak has is you're going to see a lot of the same sets doing they can do anything out of it. It's not going to be like Carmichael where there's certain sets that they're in that you're going to know that they're going to run. Like it's not formations. They can do anything out of these formations.
Yes.
Like you'll see the same formations and you'll see 3 different things off of the formation, which is great. Like that's great to hear that. Hey, look, you're not going to have a tell. There's a lot of motion going to be in this too. So Carr's going to be able to see, hey, this is what the defense is in. And he's going to be knowing, look, this is pre-snap knowing where he's going with the football, which should help not only the offensive line, but him not having to sit back there and read what's this safety doing, what's this going. They'll have a lot of pre-snap, hey, this is where we're going with the football. And we already have them beat before the snap.
Yes, and that was one of the things that was so maybe frustrating the last couple of years watching the Saints offense was really the lack of creativity and the drawing up of the play.
Yeah.
And then you watch every good offense these last few years. What are they doing? Pre-snap motion.
Moving plenty of people around, not just one guy. It'll be 2-3 people moving from one side of the formation to the next.
And what that does, at least for me as a quarterback, it's helping you get another read on the defense before the snap is played.
Yeah, well, it's also the defense is moving. And if you can just get those guys off their spot, even just a half step or a step, that gives you just enough to make an angle on a run, a pass, whatever, and it gets them beat. Yeah. You just want them thinking. You want them thinking, moving, and hey,
like you said, if you're one step behind in the NFL, that is the difference between the 4.4s and the 4.2s. 4.42s is that when you get that one step, that is your opening.
Correct. Yeah,
and that's what it really takes. And so if you have your defense, the opposing defense, questioning for 1 second.
Just stop him just for a second to think or hesitate or whatever. That's all you need, and boom, you already done ran the play. They're second behind them.
And so another thing I think that's going to help Carr out with this offense is that it's not a traditional, let's say, drop back, go through your progressions.
Correct. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Exactly. No, he's not going to be. He's not going to be asked to. I mean, I'm sure he is in some state of during the game. There's going to be some passing plays where that's what it. But for the most part, it's not going to be drop back, read what's going on. It's more of, hey, you know where you're going with the football beforehand, and you're throwing to a spot. You're not just reading something and trying to get it to a guy. So I think that's going to be good.
The easier the processing for the quarterback, the faster he can make his decisions. And, for Derek Carr, talking about him a little bit. So we know he had a kind of a rough first year with the Saints. He was probably more injured than he led on last year.
Yeah. I think it's coming more out that he was a lot more injured than what we thought he was. We thought just because he was playing that, he must not be that injured. I don't think he got healthy till later in the year.
Agreed.
And then that's when you actually saw the offense kind of click a little bit, but they also started doing more play action, started doing more things that were to his liking. Mm-hmm. And then he became a top 10 quarterback in the back half of the year.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at those last 6-8 games, you have to feel optimistic about what a Derek Carr healthy in this offense could possibly do with the playmakers he has around him. And then the additions of Klint Kubiak.
Correct.
So you got to feel with a healthy Carr, he should take another step forward this season.
Yeah.
And if you're building the offense to his strengths, which is play action, which is reducing the processing that he has to do, this should help him be more efficient. Get the ball.
Yeah,
out
it should help the offensive line be more efficient.
The offensive line, which got
the run game. I think the run game, which we haven't been able to do in the last couple of years, is run the football. I think the run game is going to get better just with different schemes. I think that this year we might be able to run the football. We'll see.
And that's a great transition into like one of the biggest topics with one of the biggest players on the team is Alvin Kamara. So he's going into his year 8 season. I think he's 29 years old. So, the statistics say, the data shows that once you're a 30-year-old running back, you kind of fall off a cliff for the most part.
Right.
And we don't want to see that with him.
No.
And Kamara's going into a contract.
I'm on the opposite of, I think he's actually going to have one of his best years in this offense, being in that Christian McCaffrey role. Saints fans, if y'all watch the Niners, I'm sure you have in some form or fashion. Christian McCaffrey does everything for that team, but they get him the ball. I think Kamara was misused the last couple years. Like, I think they tried to run him in between the tackles a lot. That's not his game.
Mm-mm.
We weren't getting him out in space against linebackers or anything in the passing game, really. They were just dumping it off to him. Like, they already showed a clip this week where he's lined up in the slot and going out on a crossing route or option route. Like, that's stuff that you used to see with Breeze and Kamara. When Peyton was here, they'd get him on a linebacker in space to where he could make a guy miss and off to the races. That's
been one of another frustrating thing with this offense the last couple of years is the clear usage of Kamara. He was getting way too many carries. He's not a 15
no. He's not that bell cow back. No. He's not, and we don't want him to be because that's not who he is.
It's not.
And I think he's just been misused. I think this year. And I'm rooting for him. I hope that he has a really good year to be good for the Saints, to be good for him with a contract year. And who knows, maybe the Saints say, hey, look, he's still got some in the tank. We'll sign you to another couple of years. And so,
for him, like, I think he has I think he fills in a CMC type role. I think he's good for 800 yards rushing, but maybe we'll push for 800 receiving. 10 total touchdowns or more. I mean, I'm thinking a vintage Kamara year that we the first 5 years
for sure.
when he was in the NFL is coming. And then for him, he says he wants to be his and
that's the other thing. He said he also wants to be a Saint for life. So, I mean, that's another reason, root for the guy.
Yeah.
Hope that he has a really good year. It'll be good for the Saints and him. Hopefully he can still be a Saint after this year.
And it says a lot, too, for him. Even though he has zero leverage in his contract situation, it's good that he's out there practicing with his team.
I hear you. I don't know. I think if he had some leverage, he might be...
if I had any kind of leverage...
He might be eating that $50,000 a day, just knowing that in the back end, the team's going to take care of it. But I think he knows with no leverage right now... He said it the other day. He's here to make money, not lose money. Not lose money.
That would be pretty painful. The miss one practice and lose $50,000.
Yeah, $50,000 a practice is steep, man.
That's ugly. Well, and then talking about running back.
Well, speaking of leverage for the Saints, they thought they had leverage with Keandre Miller.
Oh, leverage.
Keandre Miller, first day.
Pulls a hammy.
You
sound like you're like a fatty, Keandre Miller. I mean, fatties tear the meniscuses. Fatties pull their hamstrings. You are a 3rd-round pick from last year, 3.08 to be exact, and we had a lot of optimism with you. You're hurt all last year. You're
hurt for most of the year.
Pretty much.
I hope the guy can get it right.
I'm pulling for you, but I'm also kind of.
But he pulled his hamstring in like individuals early into practice, like the first part of practice, early in practice.
And you can tell a Dennis Allen quote after that practice. He was very
Dennis Allen was heated,
And he goes, there's a player that needs to work on staying healthy. And quote, you can't make the team from the training room.
Correct. And that was kind of...
That's almost saying, hey, is he on the verge of being cut?
Which, you're cutting a 3rd-round pick that you just picked last year. Unless you have, some guys behind him that you really feel good about. A 3rd-round pick...
You usually don't want to whiff on that.
No, you're usually not looking to cut a 3rd-round pick in his 2nd year.
But you know what? Maybe it does come down to that because from what we're hearing, player Jordan Mims, so he was an undrafted guy at Fresno State last year with Jay Kaner. He was on the practice squad for most of the year, but he's been taking second team reps ahead of Keandre Miller when he was healthy. You got James Robinson, who y'all might remember had a good start to his career with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I remember James Robinson.
And then Jamal Williams. You got to hope that he has a bounce back year because we signed him to a 3-year deal last year.
Underwhelmed. He was kind of hurt. He had got hurt during the year, but also I think it's more of just using them in the right. He's a short yardage back, so let's use him in short yardage, goal line, different things. get him the ball. I mean, he had like 10 plus touchdowns with the Lions a couple years ago,
18.
but it was all 18. Yeah. So there you go. 18. But again, all of that was from the goal line, short yardage. He wasn't out here breaking 50-yard runs.
No.
That's not his game. He's a short yardage guy. Again, it's about using them. Ken Kubiak and Allen use them
to their strength.
Correctly. And I think that's the thing you want to see more than anything this year with this offense is like, are people being used correctly? Not just, hey, this is what we do.
This is
and
offense.
yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Correct. It's like throwing a square peg into a triangle filling and trying to say, oh, well, why doesn't this work? Yeah.
Rhombuses.
Yeah. No, we don't like none of that. Geometry, man. We're not here for
Dude,
that.
I hated geometry.
Yeah.
I was bad at geometry.
Yeah, same here.
I had a T. We're not going to name names.
Summer school,
Yeah,
a lot with
there.
math. Yeah, once
Summer
or
school.
twice. Spent a little extra class during the year.
Cosine.
Yeah, but back to you saying with DA talking about you can't make the team from the training room. I think DA's kind of feeling the heat of knowing that, hey, look, we got to get something done this year. I think the Saints feel this way. I think this is partially why there's no fans allowed right now out in UC Irvine. It's very like bunkered down mentality.
Yes. Latch the hatches.
Yeah, correct. Like, hey, look, let's bunker down. Let's figure out, rebuild this culture.
So, that's what I think. That's a good little culture change. So we like to think, because we went from Peyton to Allen, kept a lot of same leaders on the team, that the culture hasn't changed. That's not
yeah,
true.
no, I'm not buying that.
I'd say Sean Payton lost the team his last year here, and we've been trying to figure ourselves out behind closed doors what this team is, who this team is under Dennis Allen leadership.
Agreed.
Agreeing with you that Dennis Allen, I think, is feeling that heat. Because
for sure.
Pro Football Focus ranked him
32nd
coach in the NFL.
And in case anyone didn't know, there's 32 teams.
There's 32 teams. And there's like 5 rookie head coaches this year that are ranked ahead of him. So Allen.
That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he's
So for Allen, if the Saints have another down year under 500.
But the crazy thing is, I don't know if the seat is actually hot for him with Mickey Loomis and Gail Benson, but that's another story for another day. But I feel like he knows that he needs to
He needs to win this locker room back over. And then the leaders of this team, the Cam Jordans, the Mario Davises, they need to kind of shake the roster themselves, because I feel like, again, there has been a little bit of uneasiness in this
complacency
locker room.
almost.
There's been complacency among some players. You had the cancer of Michael Thomas on your roster the last few years. Thankfully, he's gone. Marshawn Lattimore, he's, there was off-season talks about getting traded and having a rift with Dennis
and they apparently fixed their relationship, which is good to hear. But even with that, though, there's just been a lot of turmoil, a lot of different things. I mean, even with Kamara and the contract stuff going on. There's just been a lot going on.
And so, this team really, truly does need to redefine itself. Now, we've been relying on a great defense the last few years, but this team needs to be more than that. And I feel like this team...
But I also feel like with Allen, that's his calling card.
Oh, sure.
So I feel like we'll still be relying on... We'll be relying on the defense.
But I'm hoping that this trip out there to California, like I said, brings the team together. You start making that bond. And so...
Well, Demario Davis said that they know that the last couple of years they've underperformed and it's not to the Saints fan standard and that they're trying to right the ship. So these guys know that this is... The last couple of years is what's been going on has been bullshit.
Essentially. And that's putting it lightly.
Correct.
That's putting it lightly.
Yes. So, hey, like you said, they're out in California. It's a bunker down mentality. Hopefully they're rebuilding the culture. They're claiming that that's what they're trying to do. Cam Jordan's talked about, he knows that there's not much time left for him.
That's ticking there.
And that between him and his dad, no Super Bowl rings. He said that's something that he wants to change for the Jordan legacy.
Sure. And talking about an all-time Saint, an all-time good guy, a great character, great, seems like a great person, Cam Jordan. So I know he wants to get that ring. Demario needs to get that ring.
Yeah.
There's players that other guys on this team are going to play for, because this really could be the last year we see
some of these guys. Depending on, really depending on how the season goes, this could be to where it's a clean the house type of thing. And just going back to Allen with the training camp thing, it sounds like, or hopefully, they're trying to have more accountability with these guys this year.
Yes. Do you remember that article that came out last year where guys were not watching tape,
not watching film, hadn't even turned on their iPad? I mean, that's just a lack of effort. That's just a lack of you're not prepared.
No. And if you don't give a shit, if you're not accountable to at least yourself in your profession, be accountable to your teamates.
To your
Their
teammate,
blood, sweat,
yeah,
and tears
right.
that they're
Which also
shed.
makes me feel like he kind of lost the locker room. Also, going back to him and Lattimore getting into it, there was reports that they had a team meeting and Dennis Allen was rah-rah-reeing the team, and Lattimore stood up, laughed in his face, and walked out. So
you know. And again, Michael Thomas, you were a cancer on this team the last 3 years. You're getting paid handsomely, tweeting during the games, talking shit. Thank God your ass is out of here.
Yeah, I mean,
you can go take your brick throwing ass, God knows where else. You haven't been signed yet either, Michael Thomas. So, you know, good. Best of luck with you and your bum ass ankle. But we got that cancer out of the locker room. Lattimore says he's buried the hatchet with Dennis Allen, but that's
we'll see.
We'll see. But I guess rolling into the defense here. So again, not a lot to talk about. They're not been in pads, and so you're running around and your Sunday best, you know, with jerseys and helmets. So there's really not a lot.
No, there's not much you can really until this upcoming week. You'll find out more about the defense and offensive line with pads actually getting to hit each other. You're not going to really know who's doing well.
So, I mean, early reports have been saying the defense has been looking great, but that's pretty much the story for a lot of teams across the league at this time in camp.
Well, also a team that's installing a new offense because realistically this week, that's what they're installing the offense, getting in and out the huddle,
getting the play right.
Right. Correct. Getting the calls right, lining up right. What am I supposed to do? So you're not really. The defense has been the defense for however many years now, and it has the same veteran players on it, and it's the same scheme. This is a whole new system the offense is learning, so obviously the defense is going to be a little bit ahead of them.
Sure, and that's been the case, and obviously the defense is the strong point of this team. And you know, we'll start off with from the front, the defensive line. A lot of familiar faces back. You got Cam Jordan going into year 14 or something.
Carl Granderson.
Carl, love me some Carl. You know, that's really your top pass rusher right now. But then a guy I'm super excited about, loved him since he got into the league. He's battled injuries, but when healthy, the dude performs, and that's Chase Young.
Yeah. No, I'm interested to see what he does this year. They said that he was doing some individual stuff, obviously not practicing yet with the neck injury.
Correct.
But yeah, no, I want to see what he does. It's a contract year for him because he's signed to a 1-year deal. I'm sure he wants to have a big year.
Sure.
Hopefully we see the Chase Young when he was healthy with the Redskins / Commanders, and then the Niners.
And so, you know, for him though, like you're talking about a number 2 overall pick, high expectations, defensive rookie of the year, but again, has battled injuries. He's now on his 3rd team within his first contract. Within year 5.
Yeah.
So for him, he needs to have a good year. He needs to prove he can stay healthy, that he is a 10-sack guy. And for the Saints, I think it's a great situation.
Oh no, they need it because we were the second worst pass rushing team in statistically wise in sacks. We were second to last behind. I think Carolina was the only team on it. So that tells you, I mean, you don't want to be in front of Carolina, just in front of Carolina in anything.
Carolina putty tats.
I mean, we could use the 10+ sacks. He could use it too. So hopefully that's something that we get to see.
Best case scenario, I think if he has a good year, Saints throw the bag at Chase Young, because then you have your defensive end and replacement for Cam Jordan. Isaiah Foskey's been popping up on the stat sheet.
Apparently
alive.
Apparently Foskey's, making a little noise first week, but again, no pads, no nothing.
No pads.
I'm not getting too excited yet.
Let's not do it.
Hey, we're 4 practices in with no pads.
Yeah. Peyton Turner's alive and healthy. Like he's actually popping up here and there.
Another one, 4 practices in with no pads.
No pads.
I'm not getting excited yet for that one.
I'm just a little excited, just slightly excited.
He's going to give you more excitement. I'm going to give you more of the realism.
No. And so then jumping to the middle of the defense. I mean, so obviously not much to say about Demario Davis.
I mean, yeah, Demario Davis is Demario Davis.
Still playing at an all-pro level. He's one of the guys that doesn't make sense. He's getting better as he ages.
Yep. And that's just putting in that work preparation. I mean, they were talking to him this week, and he knows that, it's hard. He has to put in more work to continuously be at that high point of play. Yep. And it's just putting in that work and being a pro's pro.
I mean, he's a pro's pro. He's not, looks like a great leader, family guy.
Demario,
there's nothing bad you can say about the player.
Definitely not.
And so if he's playing, you're talking about a top 5 linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah, top 5, top 10.
You
got
a younger year 4, year 5 Pete Werner. Werner.
Yeah,
he's having a pretty good camp so far.
Yeah, he apparently had a couple good days. Yeah. And I think you're going to see, I mean, him with signing Willie Gay, I think he knows, hey, look, there's a shot that I'm getting replaced. So I think that's going to be maybe a battle that we look forward to in the next couple of weeks.
And, nothing wrong with that because Willie Gay and Werner are the same age. I think they're 25, 26. Both are on a contract year. Willie Gay, second-round draft pick out of Mississippi State, played for the Chiefs. So he's been a part of a winning program, won his Super Bowl. He knows how to get it done. He knows what it looks like for a team.
And he's a lot faster than Werner, sideline to sideline.
He's an athletic guy, and so it's a win-win situation, I think, for the Saints. You get now 3 competent linebackers.
Correct, and you always want depth at that position. Any position, but linebackers as well.
And so, and then we'll see. We had the Jalen Ford out of Texas, the rookie. You got Nephi Sewell coming off an ACL. You got some other guys, we'll see how this all plays out in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But, and then jumping into the secondary, I mean, the Saints secondary is arguably
we're already,
best in the NFL.
And we're already Lattimore.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the Lattimore.
Hip flexor.
When healthy, he's
top 5, top 10, somewhere around there. But
he's missed 17
honestly,
games.
17 in the last 2 years, 18, whatever it is. Hopefully the guy can stay healthy. I mean, he's locked down when he's healthy.
Oh yeah, and he's got that mentality. Like when he's out.
He believes he's the best corner, and that's how you have to be when you're at that position on that island. But yeah, I mean, already we're a couple practices in, and he's already hip flexor's not good.
But you got to feel good almost a little bit about drafting Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid second. Yep,
I'm drinking that Kool-Aid. Oh, man.
Me too. I'm on that Kool-Aid.
Fucking grape, cherry. What do you like?
I take
any flavor.
Kool-Aid,
you know what?
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Give me the Kool-Aid flavor that they made. I want his flavor.
There we go. So Kool-Aid, our second-round draft pick out of Alabama. Nick Saban said he's one of the smartest defensive players he's ever coached. So that's a good thing. The dude's athletic as hell. And he's taking first-team reps in replace of Lattimore. And so you have to, even with an injury to Lattimore, you're still feeling okay because you got a high draft pick already replace him. Paulson Adebo, who showed,
and I just feel like we have depth at that position. Even if Alontae Taylor has to go out to the outside, I feel like the secondary is still our deepest part of the team.
Agreed. I mean, we got almost 4 starting cornerbacks.
Yeah, correct. And Adebo, quietly, no one's talking about it, but it's a contract year for him as well. Mm-hmm. And reports that I've seen is saying that he's looking to get paid, and he's had numbers like L'Jarius Sneed, so he's going to be looking to get compensated for his last couple of years. So if he has another good year like this, or like he's had in the last couple of years quietly, he's going to be looking
the next dude to get the bag there. And so cornerback, feel good about that. Obviously, plenty of guys. Like I said, there's 100 guys in this roster, so we'll see in the coming days,
what happens
coming
with
weeks who happens. But cornerback, if Lattimore can come back, you got to feel great about that position. Safety, again, you got Tyrann Mathieu holding it down.
And then you're going to see on the other side,
you got
a
nice little mixture at strong safety.
Yeah, you got Howden.
You got Jordan Howden, second year out of Minnesota.
Jonathan Abram. This guy named Will Harris.
Yeah, Will Harris. So he was, one of those under the radar signings this offseason. So
I was looking probably more for special teams, but it sounds like this week he's kind of popped out a little bit.
Potential as a starter. So that's the Saints do a great job signing special teams guys, finding undrafted guys.
Yes.
And so this guy Will Harris, he was a 3rd round pick in 2019 to the Lions. He's started.
He did play a little bit for him. So he has started. He has started. He was even a back. He's played in the NFL. He's gotten snaps, real game reps,
and so he's somebody that they're expecting to be a special teams all-star.
Yeah.
And then if he comes in and contributes to first team reps at safety, that's a plus. Right there.
Or even just on the face of the depth. I mean, Tyron's getting older. I mean, it's just good to have depth and guys that can play the position if you need them. People are going to go down throughout the season.
And, speaking real briefly on some no-name guys that are popping up this week, there's a guy, undrafted free agent wide receiver out of Yale. What was his name?
Mason Tipton out of Yale. Dennis Allen was speaking on him yesterday. And he also talked about how he's not just Yale smart, he's football smart. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know about y'all, but Yale is probably a pretty tough school.
Yeah, Yale smart's probably something serious. Good. So football, I figure he's got the football thing down. But
he's apparently also super athletic. He's a speedster guy.
Yeah, speedster. He caught a couple touchdowns this week. One from Carr and a couple from the backup quarterbacks on some go routes. So
got to feel optimistic about that, and that's one thing the Saints over the last 15, 20 years has been one of the best in the league at, is finding undrafted guys that make the roster and make an impact. We see it every year. And so maybe this is another one that out of nowhere you have a dude coming in for wide receiver 3 spot, or maybe wide receiver 2.
We'll see. Again, 4 practices in for me, but I'm not gonna go that far with him yet. But hey, he could be someone who makes the team, something to keep an eye on.
Sure. And so then it kind of gets into, so what to expect in the coming week here, the next couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, right. What are we looking for?
We're looking at, they're putting pads
on
tomorrow,
Monday.
Which is huge. So then you can start getting a true evaluation of O-line versus D-line.
Correct. And the biggest question mark still of this team is the offensive line. There's no doubt about it. That's the biggest question mark.
It begins and ends with the offensive line. If the offensive line is going to play like garbage like they've had the last couple of years, we're not going to have success on offense. No. And we're probably looking at another
7-8 wins. Yeah.
And so, this year you're pretty much got 3 new starters on the offensive line.
Yeah, you're looking to fill 3 spots,
and that's a lot to ask.
That's a lot. And it's not only are you filling them, but you're also dealing with rookies or younger players that you're trying to do it with, guys that are inexperienced. But it sounds like we got McCoy still at center, so
you're holding it down at center for the year 8, 9,
and then you got Ruiz at guard, and but apparently Talise Fuaga.
Our rookie left
had
tackle.
Some high praises from McCoy saying that. Well, you go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited about it, guys. It's football is here, and
he's excited.
All right, but no, McCoy says Fuaga is the best offensive rookie lineman he's seen. And so that's
high praise. Yeah, that's some high praise.
And if Fuaga comes in and holds down left tackle, even if he's just average, that is a home run of a pick.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be better than average.
It sounds like it, exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like this week, obviously no pads, but it sounds like he was making easy slight work of the pass pro.
And so then moving to left guard, Nick Salvaderi, the 4th round pick.
They're saying he's had some real. Yeah, he's starting to show a little something. Dennis Allen said he still has obviously things to improve on, but hey, it's good to hear that a 4th round pick. He's getting them snaps. Maybe they said he's athletic. So that's good,
and that's good for the scheme that they're going to be.
Yes, correct. A lot of movement. It's a lot of zone running, outside zone stretch, different things like that.
You've been seeing a guy, Lucas Patrick, another offseason offensive line sign with us. He was formerly on the Packers. He's gotten some starting reps before with the Packers, so he's rotating at first reps with left guard. Right. You got Uli Udo out of the Vikings, who's played in Kubiak's system before. He's more depth. Landon Young's been rotating in.
Still the big question mark is that right tackle
and so
with Penning.
This is a make or break year for Trevor Penning because you're being moved to a new position.
Yeah, and Cam Jordan has been helping him out this week. He said he's been helping him, talking to him about what different sets and different things going on that he's seeing. And basically saying, like, look, we need to get this right now. I don't have time to be waiting on hopefully you getting it correct, or by week 3 being like, oh man, we should have took care of this. So he's at least helping helping the guy. He said it's kind of tough for him because his disdain is, I think, is the word that he used for offensive linemen. But he said that some of those guys are his best friends.
And so you love to hear that. And for Trevor Penning, like he's another high first round draft pick.
You're hoping another guy you're rooting for this year.
And because not only because you want him to
get it
succeed,
together.
but if he doesn't succeed, then we're probably not succeeding as a team.
Correct.
If he's getting pulled from a starting job at week 3 this year, then we are
not good.
Tattooed at right tackle. Ryan Ramczyk, R.I.P. to Ryan Ramczyk's career.
Yeah, out for this year for certain, and probably done for.
He ain't playing.
Yeah, probably not.
Again. And so Ryan Ramczyk, for y'all that remember, I mean, he's our all-pro right tackle out of Wisconsin going into year 10 or 11. He has had a degenerative knee issue the last 4 or 5 years that the Saints have been managing.
Yeah.
But it's just getting worse. He had
it's just getting too bad
surgery.
for him.
I don't think he played hardly any last year.
No, I mean he was playing. Yeah, he just wasn't practicing really during the week.
Then
as the year kept going, he started missing games.
If he had surgery in February, March, and is not healthy enough,
it just didn't. Yeah, he didn't bounce back off of it. So they're gonna take him and sit him for this year and see what happens with that. But yeah, Ramczyk's kind of just. He is where he is right now.
You hate to see it because he's been a leader and not only a leader, but a all-pro type player that you're now looking to replace prematurely due to a degenerative knee injury. But Trevor Penning, huge year for him. If he comes in and just is average, then that's a plus at this point. We'll take it. At this point,
and that's just what we're looking for. We're trying to see what the offensive line looks like. Hopefully the run game without pads apparently yesterday had some success, which is good to hear because Klint Kubiak's system relies on us being able to run the football. If we can't run the ball, it's not going to be tough.
If we're relying on Derek Carr throwing 40 times a game,
we're not
in trouble.
Yeah, no.
But then talking about some guys that another position that with a big question mark, right? Tight end.
Yeah.
So the Saints haven't had a good tight end, it seems like, in a decade.
No,
and not talking down to, let's say, Juwan Johnson.
No, I think he has some of the potential, but again, kind of like Cam Jordan had said something this week about potential. Like we have the potential, but if you're not actually doing it, though, that's just what it is potential.
Yeah, like Juwan Johnson, you got all the potential in the world, but you've proven that you can't stay healthy right now, man, and it sucks to see because your wide receiver converted to a tight end, gained some weight. And you're having all these lower leg injuries. You got a foot injury right now. You had surgery on. When you play, you get open. You're not a pass blocker by any means.
No,
blocker, but you get open in the passing.
For sure. And he's a big body.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, he was at practice yesterday catching passes off the jug machine. So I'm hoping that by the regular season he'll be ready to go. We're close around the regular season.
We need that. And then taking reps in his spot right now, you got a mixture of Foster Moreau, the guy we signed last year, local guy, Jesuit LSU guy. Couple of other guys that, just Jags, just another guy that are playing right now. But a little intrigued about Dallin Holker. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Holker. Yes.
Holker?
Yeah, I think so. Colorado State guy. The guy that made the one-handed catch in the combine or whatever it was.
That's right. The thing is, he's 6'3", 241. So maybe a less good-looking version of me. And so he's not the biggest guy out there, but he gets open and he catches the ball, and that's what the Saints need.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he. I don't know.
I'm sure
for practices in. I'm hoping for him.
Love me some tight ends, and so
it's gonna be interesting because we don't really have that we don't have that Kelsey Kittle type. Talking about Kubiak, we don't have a Kittle type tight end. So that's one thing that I think is going to be interesting. But what does Taysom Hill bring to this offense? Not necessarily saying he's going to be Kittle, but, maybe it sounds like he's going to be doing a little bit of Kittle, Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel, all them, just all the stuff that all those guys did. It sounds like he's going to be doing a little bit of both or all of that. Also, Kubiak. Side note, Kubiak called Taysom Hill when he first got the job and told him, hey, man, I have a vision for you in this offense. As soon as he got the job, that was one of his first calls was to Taysom Hill to let him know that, hey, man, I want you in this offense. I have a vision for you. So I think that Taysom Hill, behind Alvin Kamara, I think Taysom Hill is your second most important offensive player this year.
Could not agree with you more. I think Taysom Hill is primed to have his best year as a NFL player. he's not taking any snaps at quarterback.
No,
right
he
now,
hasn't
which
taken
is
any.
Great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, run your wildcat if you want, but I don't want to see Taysom Hill throw the ball anymore. What we need and what Kubiak's hopefully vision is for him is just how you described a Kyle Kubiak fullback role.
Yeah.
Getting reps at tight end, getting reps in the slot.
Right. I think he's going to be doing getting reps at run. I think he's going to be doing like a Swiss Army knife. He's going to be all around the field. You're going to be using him in a lot of different spots.
I'm hoping Taysom is getting 10 touches a game either.
I think between rushing and receiving, he's going to get 10 a game.
I feel like not only does he need to have that for this offense, if you get him the ball that much, he's proven to be a difference maker as an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few guys his size with his speed
correct.
that are getting the ball. And so he's a mismatch on any linebacker, any safety. And so they said they've been working him at the things he needs to improve on. Not to saying he's bad at, but needs to improve on.
Correct. Just things that he hasn't been doing.
Yeah, like running routes. Like
correct. Like they're not worrying about the quarterback stuff or taking snaps or throwing passes. They're putting that on the back burner. They're focusing on things that he's going to need to do this year for us.
Definitely. And so I think Taysom is primed for a big year. And then, I guess maybe wrapping things up before we get into what we're looking at for the first preseason game, there's competition everywhere. You like to see that, but the QB2 competition, I'm excited, man. For a first time in a long time, the Saints feel like they have capable backups, not named, let's say Jameis Winston, because I think he's almost a starting caliber quarterback.
No, yeah, I think he's capable. He was capable.
Jay Kaner, who, hopefully also he's got skin cancer.
Yeah. It's a rare form of skin cancer, but it's not deadly.
So, I mean,
whatever it is, I mean, hey, it's not great to have, but the reports came out saying that it won't kill him or anything. So, I mean, that's always great to hear.
Hang with us a little bit longer, Jake. Hopefully that you get that taken care of. But he's out there practicing, more power to you with that.
Yep.
But no, Rattler. I'm so excited for
this
Rattler.
This dude's big on the Rattler.
I'm hoping we have another future Jordan Love on this roster and Spencer Rattler. I mean, it's too early to tell.
Way too early to tell. He as you can tell by his Rattler impression here, my boy's hyped up for
I'm about to get a sombrero and some maracas for Rattler.
For Rattler?
Because I'm excited. Dude, I want this dude to succeed so badly. I'm hoping that this time next year, Derek Carr has a good season. I'm hoping the Saints have a good year, but I'm hoping the Saints.
You're hoping that Rattler's
taking over from Carr, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. But looking into next, preseason
you got the QB battle. Because Carr's probably not going to play in this first game, or if he does, it's going to be like a drive, maybe two.
And so then it's going to be like
I think I hate to say it, but I think he should play a drive or two. Just it's a new system.
Oh, sure.
Like they need the reps.
Yeah.
And that was one thing last year. I felt like in the preseason, he had that first drive where he scored a touchdown in the preseason, and then they just shut it down after that, thinking that everything was going to be perfectly fine. And then we looked woeful on offense the first couple of weeks. Like I think you need these reps when you're bringing in a new system, new guys. Like get those reps. I know you don't want nobody to get hurt during preseason. It's preseason, but you can't mimic. You can't simulate real game reps.
Exactly.
So I think that's something that hopefully Carr will get a series or two in each game, maybe just to kind of work in this new system.
No, I'm with you there, and it'll be interesting to see who's getting the touches in the backfield as far as running back goes. You're not going to see probably live AK.
No, I don't even think you'll see maybe a series.
And then as far as wide receiver goes, we're working with Olave, Rashid, Perry. But it's who's these guys that are going to
Who's these other guys? Yeah.
Who's this Tipton guy? Let's see.
Let's see. Right.
Let's see about Bubs.
Bub Memes.
Our 5th round pick.
I think he's actually he's already hurt actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I think he's got a little something nicked up with him. But
and then defense, again, there's not much to say until we get the pads on and play this game. But first preseason games looking August 10th.
August 10th against the Arizona Cardinals.
And so
that's not this coming week, but the following Saturday. So there you go, Who Dat fans. Pencil that in for y'all.
Arizona Cardinals real quick. Went to their stadium. Very nice stadium. Their fans are nice, which means, they don't like football, because if you allow
Nice fans.
an opposing team's fan to come into your stadium and you welcome them and are nice, do you even like football?
You're not sure if they like football.
If you're not threatening someone physically or shaming their ancestors, are you supporting your team at all? I don't think so. Anyways, but your parking lot situation, Arizona Cardinals, atrocious.
Sounds like you need to take an Uber.
Atrocious. Took an Uber. They wouldn't even let me.
The Uber.
My Uber was across the street. The cop wouldn't let me walk across the street. What kind of world are we living in Arizona? I don't know.
Been there one time. It was a nice place when I went,
Nice
but
place.
apparently stay away from the stadium.
Great golfing, hot, horrible parking lot. But yeah, so that's what we got kind of coming up here.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we also get to see the new kickoff.
the new kickoff rule. So
that
guys,
ought to be interesting.
We're taking,
but we'll get to see that actually this Thursday is the Hall of Fame game. So the first preseason this coming week is the last week without football until February. So it's beautiful. I'm excited. I know y'all are too, Who Dat fans. I know y'all excited that football is back. We're here.
It is here,
It's here.
guys. It's
It's
upon
here.
us. So hopefully next time you see our faces will be maybe a recap of the preseason.
Recap of the
and talking
preseason,
about
yeah.
week one.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
So I want to appreciate again Kyle. Awesome. Y'all, if y'all don't come see Kyle more often, this place is awesome. He's an
And remember,
amazing guy.
5039, not 5036.
5039 Feret Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you, Another Bar, for having us again. Fletch, where can they find you on Instagram?
They can find me at John JON_Fletcher.
All right.
On Instagram.
And then follow Another Bar. Follow the subscription page on the YouTube. Follow Another Bar on Instagram. For me, follow Vacillator_NOLA. That's the band that I play a little music in. So go ahead and follow that. Got some music coming up this week.
Jack all trades, this guy right here.
Gonna play a show Friday and Saturday.
There you go.
But again, thank you, Kyle.
Yep.
Thank you, Vance, for looking in. The Who Dat Baby football.
All right, Who Dat
back.
fans. See y'all.
That I'm on my shit. That I'm on my shit. That I'm on my shit. Click that